Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with a video to discuss the exciting news from the Total War Twitter that was released today. And this is it, this fine health poster. And, well, there's not much to be said. Hunters wanted. Fancy a fine voyage of beyond the borders of Reichland. Treasures and trophies await for all that can track troublesome beasts in the jungle. An adventure for the fearless and soon to be wealthy. Sign up today. Vault Hunters wanted. The last part isn't really there, but that would be a different game, I guess. But it kind of reads that way. Either way, besides the fact that the soon-to-be wealthy is more likely to be soon-to-be dead, clubbed to death in some nasty swamp by an angry saurus, or dying of malaria from a mosquito. Besides that fact, this is an interesting update because it does, I think, give us some insight on what we can see in the future. Given that we know we're not going to be getting new, or supposedly, obviously, CS sometimes change their mind on some things, but given that we know that supposedly we're not getting new faction packs, we're only getting new lord packs in the future, it's pretty clear this isn't going to be Southern Realms or something of that nature, plus the whole thing about Reichland, the sort of floppy hat with the tail feathers and the bearskin here, indicates this is Empire and most likely Marcus Wolfheart being added. Now, this is going to be interesting because it would be the first new, and given that we're talking about new start positions here, it's likely to be the Legendary Lord. Hero gone Legendary Lord. It's something you see. We've already seen before with other characters, like, for example, Tic-Tac-Toe and whatnot. But it's definitely very cool. It's definitely very cool to see that a Warhammer 1 faction will, in fact, be getting a new Lord. And one starting pretty far afield. It also means, I think, it confirms that the faction getting the update, or the Old World faction getting updated this upcoming month, will be Empire. And I do think that's a bit of exciting news. Empire is one of the factions that is definitely a bit bland. And while not perhaps in the same story state as Beastmen or Greenskins, has definitely been looking to get updated a bit for a while now. And getting Marcus Wolfheart as a unique sort of legendary lord who actually brings something new to the table would definitely be an awesome thing to see. Now, there has already been speculation that I've seen on some other channels talking about the possibility of this being a cross-game DLC. Personally, I feel that that's a bit dubious. I feel like it would be very hard to justify for the people who only own Warhammer 1 or only own Warhammer 2 and don't really care for the other games. How are you, granted, it's kind of probably a small portion of the player base, but still, how are you justifying the fact that you're essentially only going to get half the DLC, or are you going to have like one Empire sub-faction available in Vortex or something? It'd be odd to try to implement that. I feel like it's not likely we'll get cross-faction DLC. That said, I do think it would be exciting if it did happen. Empire and, of course, Greenskins are the two old world factions that really have a lot of material left to be added. Both in potential Regiments of Renown, because honestly, there were some major missed opportunities with Regiments of Renown. Nuln Ironsides, Karelberg Greatswords. In the case of the Orcs, the Immortals, and units like that, like these epic, lore, like really sort of staple units in the lore that just don't make an appearance. Instead, we get some haggard units nobody's basically ever heard of. And this is obviously because of the theming of the older Warhammer 1 DLC, and that's its own thing. But still, I think there would be some potential there. And there's a lot of units missing for Empire. We're missing, even if we're talking about just the tabletop roster, we're missing plenty of heroes. We're missing We're missing the, for example, the Grand Master. We're missing the Celestial Hurricanum, we're missing the Huntsman, Archers, that sort of thing. And it could be material for a cross-game DLC, for sure. There's definitely enough material there for Empire. Plus, you add in like units that were not really on tabletop. You have like the Knights of the White Wolf or Knights of Moor and that sort of stuff. And you're suddenly looking at a very, very broad spectrum of units. But that said, I feel that's kind of doubtful. I feel that it's going to be a faction overhaul. That said, Empire still needs it. It's going to be cool to see. One thing I would definitely expect coming in with this overhaul would be Empire Huntsman. And this is a unit I'm pretty excited to see how it's implemented. I know there's been a lot of talk about the fact that they'd be redundant with crossbows, but I personally think it could be cool because it spices up the Empire's playstyle options. I could see the Huntsman being implemented with the rule that... so... on tabletop, Marcus Wolfhart made Huntsman more effective against monsters. And I could see this being implemented into the game and by giving Huntsman anti-large, making them an anti-large stalking archer skirmisher. Imagine sort of like Haggard's Deepwood, not quite as good as Deepwood Scouts, but a unit sort of like Deepwood Scouts, but with a bonus versus large. Or maybe just like Dwarf Rangers without shields, but with a bonus versus large. And I could see that being a very cool and unique implementation, a unique unit type that we haven't really seen before anywhere, really. The closest thing to that is like Norscan Javelins. And could give Empire some sort of new approach to dealing with some problems. If you're dealing with like lightly armored units, normally right now your resort is Pistoliers against light or large, or Free Company Militia. But having this as an option would be interesting to see, and would, in my opinion, spice things up, even if we don't see any other updates to the Empire roster. Besides that, and obviously Marcus Wolfhart could spice things up as well, because he'd be probably like an Empire Lithanar a bit, maybe with not quite the same range as a Lithanar, but definitely could be hitting like White the Truck, perhaps a bonus versus large as well, perhaps a hefty one at that, maybe sort of like the Warp Lightning Cannon style or a Bone Giant style of bonus versus large, and could definitely be quite the beastie, and would definitely be cool to see how he plays out. Besides that, of course, Empire overhaul, most likely. And obviously we'll see more trailers and teasers and information coming out over the coming weeks. But Empire could definitely use a bit of an overhaul. Their quote-unquote unique mechanic, which has already been recycled for the Wood Elves, the offices, are kind of crap, to be honest. The offices are not even, a lot of the offices aren't even particularly useful to begin with. And it's a very limited and kind of mediocre mechanic. And there's nothing else going for Empire there. So I feel like it's going to be an opportunity to maybe give the Empire unique Confederation mechanics, unique benefits depending on the territories they're controlling or the different provinces they're controlling. Stuff like that to spice Empire's playstyle up. And I'm really excited to see what's done there. And right now, I don't want to speculate too much. I feel like I'd rather wait to see if it's actually going to be a full DLC or if we're just looking at a relatively minor free DLC. But definitely exciting news. Personally, as some of you guys may know, Empire's probably my favorite faction in the game. They're definitely my favorite faction lore-wise, and playstyle-wise, they're definitely one of my top factions. I play them a lot. Obviously, I try to cover different stuff for the channel, but still, Empire is my favorite. And I really do enjoy them. I'm pretty thrilled to see them finally getting some love. Been really looking forward to it. And I'm glad that we're going to get Marcus Wolfhart. Definitely excited to see how he plays out. Definitely excited to see how Empire's improved and made more fun. And if it's a really epic change, it's also going to give me more hope for the Greenskin update that's obviously got to come in the future. And if we do get a cross-faction DLC, as much as I doubt it, that would be awesome too. It would open up a whole realm of possibilities, like Eltharion against Ground the Punch, for example. That would be hilarious. That would be awesome. And without getting into too much speculation, without wasting your guys' time too much, that is all I just wanted to share today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and more importantly, put all your comments and thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think it's going to be a cross-faction DLC? Do you think we'll see Marcus Wolfhart against like Nakai or Gorak or something along those lines, or do you think it's going to be a free DLC and we'll see a separate DLC for Warhammer 2 factions? What changes do you think we might see for Empire? Be sure to post that down in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read and respond to all those. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check it out, and I'll see you all in the next one. Live and out.